from where you at. I came here for vengeance, watch your back. No need to defend, I'm on attack. Sorry they can't reply, but I guarantee they had a blast. Pop, 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 I be on the next only, yeah, I am fresh to death.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Long Haul Mentality, and I'm your host, as always, Nick Bagley. And this week, I got my homie Brandon Barrow on. What's up, dude? How are you?
What's up, my man? What's up, Nick? Glad to be on finally. So I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Last time I reached out, you guys were moving. So how's getting settled into the new place?
Oh, it's been great. Yeah, what was back then? So we moved here in April into Plano, right down the road from destination now. So we were in Fort Worth. So yeah, now we're here, and everything's so much better. So we don't have to drive, an hour to destination. I drive 11 minutes there, train my clients, train myself. Like, life is much smoother now. So yeah, everything's been going great. Move is great. So we're ecstatic.
And were you training at Absolute all the time when you were out there?
I was. So we were in Watauga, which is right down the road from NRH, North Richland Hills, and that's where the AR, their original location. So that's where we trained for the most time, because Jordan lived out there when I lived out there as well. So we trained there for about a year. Then he moved out to destination before I did, like a month or 6 weeks before, and then we went out there as well. But yeah, AR, it was good while we were there. Well, we needed it, great equipment, but definitely glad to be at destination, that environment. Hearing those metal weights clang, there's nothing like that, man. I miss that so much. I'm tired of rubber fucking weights everywhere. So being at destination has been very good for my mental, absolutely. And plus, everybody here, it's just a great atmosphere. Like, destination, we've been talking about it a lot recently. It's the Mecca now, like Dallas per se. You got how many open guys in a small area? A lot. And they're still coming. I mean, we got me, Jordan, Justin, Ken just moved. Other people are moving. Like, we have a ton of big dudes here. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is really cool. Like, just being able to walk in and, like, I'm going to see my friends, but then I see multiple pros over there training and stuff. And, like, even with not competing anymore, it makes me, like, get real hyped up. It's like I'm doing a cut right now, and it makes me be like, oh yeah, I'm ready to fucking do something. But what, besides the gym, obviously, what's the biggest things that you've noticed difference wise from Fort Worth to here?
Travel. I don't have to travel as much for like clients and whatnot. So I'm not in the car near as much, not sitting in traffic, and I'm sure you've experienced it a lot. There's a ton of fucking traffic in Texas, brother. Like I just said, yes, we're all moving here, and everybody else is as well. So just not being in the car and having road rage has brought my blood pressure down a lot. I'm a very poised guy. I'm chill.
Oh yeah.
You get me around people that just can't fucking drive, or they just sit in the left lane going below the speed limit, and that's NASCAR lane. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that's all I'm complaining about, like, we're good, man. We're good.
Yeah. When I first moved to Texas and started personal training, I got a job out in Dallas, but I was in McKinney. So that was a 40, 50-minute drive, depending on what traffic looks like. And in order to get to work on time, I was leaving at like 4 o'clock. I was leaving at 4 o'clock in the morning. So it was, I totally understand the whole not driving as much anymore. Were you training clients at Absolute Recomp as well?
No.
Fox Fitness, right?
You don't want to be a trainer there. It's a pretty astronomical price. And I get it. The gym is not that big, the one that I was training at, and having a bunch of trainers in there would have not been good for that place. So I get it. I was training at a gym you probably heard of, Stroud's.
Stroud's. That's right. I thought it was Fox Fitness for some reason.
One more time?
I thought it was Fox Fitness. I think that was a Liana. I think Liana's been doing some stuff out there.
And I probably talked to you. I was considering, but it was just a little bit more out of the way. And Hearst is awesome. Hearst is, well, not Hearst, but Stroud's. And that's where Johnny trains his clients. So it'd be cool to go in there and shoot the shit with Johnny. Hang out with him. Because, we linked up, and I went to Arlington and trained with him last year. That was awesome. Nice. Johnny Jackson, for you guys listening, OG legend here in Texas. Stroud's is great. Great people there, but I'm glad I don't have to drive that far anymore. Because when I moved here, I still had some clients I would drive out there and train through the transition, and that was a bit rough. But you got to do what you got to do at that time. But now, like I said, I drive 11 minutes to the gym, considering traffic. So no complaints, man.
Is that what you do full time? Is just training, like in-person training, or you do online coaching and stuff as well?
In person and online. I have a good amount of online that I supplement with my in person because you make. Are you
You're
still
good.
there? All right, we're good. We're
Yep,
good.
you're good.
Yeah, so I do both. Have a few in person, have a good amount online. That way, I can just disperse it because I will used to just be in person. You know how that is, man. It gets demanding. It gets old. You're on your feet all day in the gym, and a loud gym at that. I mean, I'm already half deaf as it is. So, give me a few hours in there with some clients, train myself, and I'm good. The rest of the time, I'm just on my computer with my clients,
Yeah.
like you.
Yeah. It's people don't realize how mentally and physically taxing personal training is,
Mhm.
right? Because like not only like to me, if you're a good trainer, you're the one that's like moving weights around. Like you're the one like they're paying for that service, so I'm going to go above and beyond with that. So I'm moving the weights around, I'm bringing them dumbbells, I'm doing this, that, and the other, and I'm doing that for how many sessions across the day, right? Then on top of that, they're going to want to come in and tell you about their day and tell you about the things they're dealing with, and they're going to want to unload some mental stress and that kind of thing. So not only are you a trainer, you also end up being a little bit of a therapist as well, right?
Yes, too.
And so that's a mental burden, and that's got to play a massive role in like your ability to bodybuild. Did you notice that a little bit, like when you were doing a lot more in person?
Somewhat. Obviously, we're going to notice it more as we get closer to the show
Right.
because our mental capacity is not near as much. But you're right. You have to put on so many different faces because you encounter so many different personalities, and you can't necessarily approach the same person the same way. Some people will not respond that same way. So yeah, you got to put on, that whatever that mask is per se for that person. And yeah, you're right. Sometimes it's a lot of talking. And that's going to be more of your lifestyle people, the ones that they're not going to go into the gym unless they have somebody in there with them, showing them what to do. Then you have the one-offs that are just the ones that want to get in there and train hard. You can just get after it with them. Those are the fun ones.
Oh yeah,
But yes, we wear a couple different hats when it
slightly.
comes to in-person training. But I love it. I enjoy helping people, and if they need to unload some stuff here and there, that's okay. But I don't let it cross the line because I don't need to know everything about everybody because
Agreed.
I don't need to take on everybody's stress like that. It's
Agreed.
you
I'm
know,
down
it's,
to help some friends, but I am not a therapist. You'd have to be paying me a lot more for that.
yeah, for sure.
It's been an interesting thing because I stopped in person training in April, and just the difference that I have walking into the gym now is incredible, right? Because like you said, like you'd be there for multiple hours a day, get all your clients knocked out, and then you'd lift after. And when you're already in the gym that much, you're going to have people coming up to you to chat with you on a regular basis. So then by the time you go to do your lift, that person that hasn't seen you yet wants to come over and talk, and then you're trying to get your session done. And it's hard to like just lift and not be the trainer there at the gym. Now it's like people don't even know I'm there. It's great. I love it.
There you go. Yep, yep. So
Not
are
only
you
that,
are enjoying taking back the in-person training a good bit?
yeah, dude, it's been a huge blessing, and like I do miss aspects of it. Like Tuesday, I got my haircut early, so I was up there doing some work on Tuesday, and it was nice being able to like be around some people and be around my friends and stuff again. But there's nothing better than being able to like get out of bed, go do some fasted cardio, make a cup of coffee, and then come sit down in here and get my work done for the day, and then
Yes.
also being able to spend more time with my son because of it and whatnot too. So it's definitely a huge win as far as that's concerned for me, but. Now, moving away from the training stuff here, obviously you're 9 weeks out.
7.
7. Damn, I was off.
Even though time is flying, my man, it's flying.
Yeah, so you're about to get into the real fun aspect of this, aren't you?
Yes, and I can't wait because it's been 2 years since I've competed, and I've just been waiting to get back into this. And I did not know because I usually compete every year, and I didn't know just how much I love that shit until
Yep.
I didn't do it for a year. And
Yeah.
man, I kind of felt like I was in purgatory because yeah, you're eating, you're growing, but man, it is monotonous. Like, you can only eat so much fucking food. Um, so yeah, it's just been you know Groundhog Day every day until prep started. And now that we're 7 weeks out, things are changing, weekly, almost daily. So now that excitement is there, and I can't wait to just start suffering.
Yep.
I've missed this for a long time. So
Yeah.
pro debut at that first one in Texas. So I'm excited.
Going to take a quick break from the podcast to bring a few things to your attention. First off, as I was going through the YouTube analytics, I noticed that almost 70% of my watchers are not subscribed. So if you're watching this right now, please do me a favor and click that subscribe button. Every single time I get a new subscriber, comments, likes, and shares, this helps spread the podcast more, and I really, really appreciate you guys. This podcast has no paid sponsorships, so the best way for you to support my channel is to support my sponsors. So, Labrada Pro Series is my supplement sponsor. We have a full line of products with some new ones coming. The pre-workout is on the way right now, and the new Labrada Nutrition RTD pre-workout is about to hit the market as well. On top of Labrada Pro Series, I also have Gasp and Better Bodies, and then I also have Authentic Aminos. Please go support these companies. Use my code Bagley10 for Labrada Pro Series, Bagley15 for Gasp and Better Bodies, and Bagley for Authentic Aminos. Thanks, guys. Let's get back to the podcast. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, what show are you doing and who do you work with coaching-wise?
So Cameron Cheek is my coach. He's who I went pro with at the Amateur O in 23. And the show I'm doing is the Mexico Pro. I think this is new for the Open guys. I know it wasn't like around last year, but I don't know when the last time Mexico had an Open Pro show. I'm not really sure. But yeah, it's the week after the Olympia. So I won't be able to go to the Olympia, unfortunately. We went last year, and me and Jordan went down with the gas crew and had a great time. Obviously, this year Jordan's going for a very different reason. He's going to be on the big stage. I'm ecstatic for him, but I won't be able to make it because that would be pretty detrimental to my my peak. So
yeah,
I'll sit that one out. I'll watch from home, and then we'll head out to Mexico because my show was on a Sunday, which is weird. So we'll head out like a Wednesday. So
nice.
It'll be nice.
That's good.
Mexico City, so it'll be fun.
You guys are going to spend some time in Mexico after, or are you coming right back?
We'll get going back, man.
Yeah.
We'll stay for a little bit the next day, get some good food. Because Corey's in prep. And she competed.
That's right. I knew that.
Yeah. She's doing, what's the one in Frisco? I want to say Heart of Texas, but man.
Is it Republic? No, it's Heart. Is it Republic or Heart of Texas?
Heart. So she is now, today is what, Friday? So she's 8 days out.
8 days? So hell yeah.
Yeah. So that's her first show of the season. And
is she also with Cameron?
She's with Morgan Rice.
Gotcha.
So she's been with him for years.
Okay, cool.
Because I was with Morgan for a while. We did a few shows, and then that's when I moved to Cameron after North Americans of 23.
Awesome. Very cool. And
I'll compete August 19th. Jesus Christ. October 19th.
October 19th. I was about to say August was a week ago, man.
Yeah, it's my show last month anyways. And she'll have another 4 weeks, and she'll compete again the weekend before Thanksgiving. So there's not really a point in us staying out there for any longer. Like, yeah, we could go and sightsee.
Understood.
We just want to get back here, get back into our routines and whatnot.
I've heard Mexico City is really nice, though. I've heard it's like it's not like you're in Mexico. It's like a regular big city and stuff. But you do also have to be a little careful because it is Mexico, and we are living in a weird world right now.
We have certain precautions that we're going to make before we go. But yes, it's like a more touristy place, obviously, so it should be pretty chill. I did know that I found out after I picked the show, it's 7,000 feet above sea level. So it's going to be a little bit of a variable for breathing.
That'll be interesting.
About maybe the last 4 weeks, I'm thinking about grabbing an elevation mask and doing my cardio in just to, because I mean, I have to. Those guys, I'm sure there's some guys in Mexico that are going to be competing in Mexico that'll give them a little bit of an edge above me per se. So
even posing in it might be a good idea. Getting that elevation mask and posing in it, that might be a good idea.
Yeah, I was the guy that used to. I think it was funny to see a guy with that in the gym. Now I'm going to be that guy.
Yeah.
Full circle.
We walk around your house looking like Bane.
Right, sounding like Darth Vader, looking like Bane.
There you go. Now you got your Halloween costume.
Halloween's right around the corner. I can just keep it going into it.
Yeah. Now, something that this is going to backtrack a little bit, but something I didn't know about you until not that long ago was that did you turn pro in a natural division?
Yeah,
you did. So what division was that, or what organization?
I'll just tell you all of it. So I did my first show when I had just turned 21 in college, and that was an NGA show. So that was my first show. I did that same show that next year, and with the amount of competitors, it was a pro qualifier, and I won I think they only had heavyweight. I don't think they had super heavyweight. Anyways, whatever class I was in, I think it was heavyweight. I won that class and I got my pro card. And then that summer, now that was an NGA, the National Gym Association. That summer, I went to New York and then I got my WMBF pro card. And then that was my 2 pro cards. And I competed in OCB, but they let my WMBF pro card transfer over. So so I started this naturally. I competed naturally for 4 years, and then in 2025 was when I did my first. Not 2025, 20. I was 25. It was like 2017ish or so, around in there. Did my first NPC show.
Okay, cool. And what weight did you compete at as a natural? And then what was your first show weight like for NPC?
So the heaviest weight that I got to as a natural, honestly, bro, this is why I stopped competing naturally. I took a whole year off because I wanted to put on some size, and I gained 2 pounds of stage weight. Like, fuck this. I'm done with this. That when I was 190, no, I was 203. That was my heaviest stage look as a natty. And then my first show, which would have been that next year, I was 218. So solid little pickup in weight. I think I did that was the Pittsburgh in that May. I did not do that great. I got like 6th. I was still young with my natty coach, and we were just trying things, give it a run. And then this when I realized I need somebody with more knowledge on the gear side, and that's when I went with I was with Andrew Vu for a while.
Oh, very cool. I didn't know that. So how long of a time between like deciding that you were going to switch from being natural to the enhanced divisions, how long of a time did you take off between those shows?
I didn't. I just competed that next year.
You just got on gear and just went to a show?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, well, to put on what, 16 pounds without really like going in an off season?
I think it was a year in between shows. So, I mean, there was some time, but we put on a little bit of, it's a good amount of muscle right there.
Yeah, you definitely did, man. And one of the other things that is just so fascinating about you is how fucking strong you are, man. Like, have you always been that strong? Did you have a athletics background or what?
I did have an athletic background. I started working out, exercising. I won't call it really working out when I was 7, doing push-ups, sit-ups religiously because my motivation was Arnold, Sly, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I loved all the action hero movies in the 90s. So watching that, I was like, that's what I want to look like. So I remember I had this like wooden dresser. And it was frayed at the bottom. So I couldn't just put my feet under it. I'd get splinters. So I had to put, even with socks on, so I had to put a towel under it so I could do sit-ups. And I would do push-ups. I had like the rickety candles that made like more range of motion for your push-ups. I just did whatever I thought would help. And then when I was 11, I bought my first weight bench, and then I would dabble in that. And my boyfriend at the time would try to teach me something. He didn't know shit. And then when I was 13, that's when I really started like training religiously. And that was also, I played football all throughout elementary school and high school. And football is what really not kept me going, but that's where I went with that, was with football. So I played football all throughout high school, and it was football season. And I wasn't in football season, it was weightlifting season. So I would get after school, like we had some high schools, some don't. They have weightlifting classes. So I'd have a weightlifting class. Then after school, I would stay back and do football stuff as well in all season. So I worked out all the time. I mean, obviously I love it. So from there, I went to college and just kept playing football until I was D3. I went to Bridgewater College. So it was not helping with tuition. I was just beating up my body, doing a 24/7 job just for the love of the game. And I'm bodybuilding on the side, training with my explosive athletic training. And I'm like, man, my passion is in the gym. It's not on the football field anymore. So that's when I said, all right, I'm done with football. And that was when I was a sophomore in college. And then my next year is when I did my first bodybuilding show.
Did you have any aspirations like coming out of high school thinking that like you would go to the NFL or anything like that?
No, I didn't have any kind of genetics or background like that. And where I was at, you're not getting any NFL. Man, we had 22 people on my high school football team. I was going both ways. I was a linebacker and I was a left tackle. A left guard. So no NFL prospecting for me.
You just enjoyed it. So that's cool.
Yeah.
It's so interesting how much of a correlation there is between like starting athletics at a young age and becoming a bodybuilder, you know?
I believe that 100%, man. Like, I
Yeah.
believe what you do as you were young. Granted, there are people that are genetic freaks that can start way younger, way later in life, and they do fantastic. But I've noticed, as you have as well, the ones that are more athletic when they're younger, they just have that muscle memory always, and they're just going to be just a step of. They're always a little bit of a step ahead. But like I
Yep.
said, there are your genetic anomalies that they don't really fit that category.
Yep. And to be honest, I'm kind of the exact opposite of you. Like I was not an athletic person. I didn't play sports in high school. I didn't have any aspirations of playing sports. I didn't start like really getting into lifting and stuff till I was probably like 16. And it was like with ROTC. Like, I was one of those dorks in high school and we had the fitness team and whatnot. And like, that's where it started to jump off, and then told my mom when I was about to go to college that I didn't want to be the skinny kid anymore. So I didn't really start getting serious with it until I was like 18, something like that. And then my first show at 19. So it's interesting how much like foundational stuff you can get out of something that has nothing to do with bodybuilding at all. Like, it's really interesting. So it's honestly shocking to me how much you can still press when you're 7 weeks out. Like,
I think
has
a
that
lot of
always
people
been
said
something
that.
has that always been something you've done well?
One more time.
Has that always been something you've been able to do really well, is press?
Yeah, I've always been a strong presser. Even when I was in high school, I got on the board for my bench press. It was 315. But in high school, I thought that was fucking
Oh,
the mountain.
you're a god in high school with 315 bench press.
So I've always been a strong presser, which is a blessing and a curse because pressing heavy is awesome, but like my chest doesn't look like I'm as heavy of a presser as I am. My shoulders do though. So what that did was it built my shoulders up a fuck ton, and I have really, really thick triceps from that. So now I am having to kind of fix that. Now I have to be very well. I'll say that, and I did 4.5 plates yesterday on the bench press. But aside from that, I'm really just focusing on weight contraction for this chest. Granted, am I building much muscle going into this show now from 7 weeks out? No. So now I just want to train as hard and heavy as I can to just keep creating this grainy, hard look. Obviously, I'll be in as safe as possible because, yeah, when you said that, I did chest yesterday and I did 4.5 plates, and I had to get Justin and Jordan over there because it's a lot of weight, and I know they're going to be able to help me get out of it. And you'll see when I posted, I sent that shit. In that last rep, Justin was struggling. I was like, maybe I should get that last rep. But man, we love it. It's fun. We just love training hard, man.
For anyone that doesn't know, he's talking about the Cybex Smith machine, 4.5 plates. And for people who have not used a Cybex Smith before, that's a lot of fucking weight. That's a lot of fucking weight. This is a completely side story, but I went in the gym on Monday. Saw this guy across the gym, and there was 5 plates on the Cybex hack or the Cybex Smith, and I was like, this guy doesn't look like he can do 5 plates. And it was set up, and I was like, okay, if he's doing 5 plates, he's squatting them the way this thing's set up. Then I walk off to the side and I go to do my machine, and I see there's a quarter on the outside. I was like, okay, well, it's 4.5. What? Not a big deal. But it was one of the bumper plate quarters, so one of the big ones, right? Well, then I watch him do it, and I'm like, holy shit! Like he's squatting all the way down. This is really good form. And then he finishes that set and starts pulling plates off, and it's all quarters. The whole thing is just bumper plates of quarters. And I'm like,
say that one more time. You cut out that last part.
The whole thing was just bumper plates of quarters.
Oh,
it was 5 quarters, and they look like
social
plates.
Media trick.
Yeah. And the funniest part is that he did it on the Cybex Smith, then he did it on the Cybex hack, then he did it on the pendulum squat. And I'm like, man, what are we doing here, dude? Like, what's going on there? But for anyone who's actually doing anything over 4 plates on that thing, that's a lot of fucking weight.
I appreciate it, man. I enjoy it. It is fun. I'm going to do it while I can because I do know that I can't train like this forever.
Yeah.
And I have been adjusting my training. And I watched yours and Joe's podcast, and I was like, shit, this sounds a lot like what I'm going through right now. Yep. I just transitioned into a 4-day training split because, I'm 33 and I'm training hard, heavy, and I need more recovery.
Yep.
And I know a lot of guys have done this in their careers, later in their careers, Dorian and whatnot. And I know that's something that I needed. So And since I've done that, brother, I felt so much better. My joints feel better. My knees feel better. Everything's better. And I'm also going to be more adamant with my, not as heavy, but just, executing that muscle that
Right.
I do work.
Yeah. And it's funny that you mentioned Joe's podcast, because I was about to bring that up. It's like he was really strong himself, and he was talking about that of like, man, there's nothing more that I love than going in and moving around a bunch of heavy weight. But it was starting to not benefit him because it wasn't building the areas that he needed. So I was going to ask you, like, what does that look like for you now? Like, obviously, like you said, you're not building a bunch of muscle right now, but when you go into your next off season looking to improve on whatever things the judges tell you that you need to bring up, what are your plans to change that training in order to start bringing those areas up?
Well, my plans would be the one I've already just done was go to a 4-day training split. I think that's going to be great for me, especially in the off season, having that extra time to grow and recover. And then it's going to be just really bringing in my training to what I need for me and just focusing on exactly like what you and Joe were talking about, especially for me in my leg days. I don't need to, squat 7 plates on like the hack or anything like that anymore. My knees were getting fucked. And continuing doing that so much exactly. Now I have to really be like purposeful with my leg training. I have an adductor injury that it's just gonna linger for a while, and you know how long they take.
Dude,
So I'm
the
not squatting
worst.
anymore like a barbell. I'm doing hacks very slow, just like a 3-second negative, and just toasting them. One leg press, anything that can get around that's not just letting this adductor just fire so much, no matter what, it's still
Yep.
engaging. So yeah, my leg days look very different now, and I'll bring that into my off season. Obviously, with more weight, I'll still be doing my hack squats. They're not going to be as heavy.
Yep.
I'm just, and this is what I'm known for. I mean, you even asked, you're talking about how strong I am. That's what I'm known for. I've always been a heavy lifter, heavy, intense. So now the intensity is going to be there. It's just going to be with not as much weight.
Yep.
And because I told myself, and I tell myself all the time, because I was a weightlifter that turned into a bodybuilder.
Mm-hmm.
When my friend, he first told me, hey man, you should do a bodybuilding show. I was like, and shave my whole body and oil up and get tan. Like, fuck no, I ain't doing that gay shit. Nah. But like a couple months later, I'm like, all right, let's do it. And
Yeah.
then,
Right.
and here we are. I love it.
Yep.
So I just got to do what's best for me, and I'm not a power lifter. I'm a
Yep.
bodybuilder, so I have to train like that. So that's going to be the biggest thing that I change going into this next off season is that. And I think it's going to help a lot. My body's going to appreciate it.
I agree too, man. And to back it up a little bit to what you said earlier, I've been doing a 3-day split for like 4 years. Did I say 4-day or 3-day?
It's a
4-day.
3.
So I've been doing a 4-day split for like 4 years, and I've tried to convince as many people as I possibly can to try it. Just give it a shot for a little while and see how you feel. And I can completely agree with like a massive jump in how I felt mentally, how I felt physically. And then, like, look, going to the gym 5-6 days a week, we would all love to do it, but that's a young man's game. That's a
Exactly.
game for someone who doesn't have any other responsibilities. Like, you and I both have shit we got to get done, right? So you can't expect us to be able to do that all the time, right? With business and your bodybuilding and your wife and so on and so forth, right? But not only that, it allows for more recovery, but then in an off-season setting, it also allows for less calorie output, right? Which
Yes.
allows us to put on more weight, and like, I'm not going to say that I convinced him to do this, but me and Hunter had a conversation about this a couple of years ago, because he was training 5 days a week, and he was also training like really aggressively, like you were. And it got to a point where it was like he was anxious all the time and things hurt all the time, this, that, and the other. And I just suggested it, and he tried it, and really has continued to do that, right? And he still continues to do that. And like, look, we're
He's
talking about,
progressed a ton doing that.
yeah, we're talking about a top 10 Olympian, right? And you can get away with a lot on 4 days a week, especially for someone like you who knows how to train hard, right? Now, the other point that you brought up there is learning how to use less weight but still be intense, right? Did I might have cut out there. It's so just so you know, when it does cut out, it'll keep recording all my stuff. Same with you. It'll because it records everything locally, so you can just kind of keep talking if it does cut out. But obviously, you need to hear what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I feel like when you tell people that you need to go lighter, they start to believe that they're like, oh, well, I'm going to train like a wussy now. Like, no. You can still train intense. And just because I'm telling you to train less heavy doesn't mean it's not still heavy, right? I'm not telling you to strip 60% of your weight. I'm telling you to strip like 20 to 30 and then rebuild from there, right? Is that kind of similar to what you're planning on doing?
Absolutely, because there are levels to this. Say if I'm 25, that's when I'm training 5 days a week. So at some point during preps,
100%.
I was doing 6 days a week. But we'll say 5 days a week, we're training just hard as fuck, just body into the ground, and I can recover from that. But after you use that weight and you get stronger and stronger and stronger, that recovery it just comes down, and then the knacks and the injuries they start adding up, and that's when you got to just dial it back. But this is not something that I would want like a 25-year-old to follow me and do per se, because that might not be what's best for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because would have been what's best for me when I was 25? Probably not. I needed the volume. I needed to wreck myself. That's where I built myself. And now that I've built that, I need to keep refining it because I'm a pretty big dude. Don't need to be bigger, absolutely. But that's gonna come. That's just gonna come, and I just need to refine it. Whatever areas I can help with my shape. Keep my waist as small as I can. Everything like that, and this is what's gonna be best for me. And you'll see guys that are pros and are a little bit older. I mean, I'm not old by any means. I'm in my prime. They're kind of making those changes as well. But if you're in your 20s, you're recovering fast as long as you're healthy and smart. You should be good. But there's a time, and you'll know when that time is when you might have to make somewhat of a change like that. And
Yep.
like I said, I've made it like a month ago, and dude, I feel so much better.
Yeah,
I would have done it a little sooner.
Yeah, I'm sure. And it's a common theme that's been coming up with like all the pros that I've been talking to of like, look, from this age to this age, it was just all out kill myself. Like do anything I can to make myself as sore as possible and not be able to walk out of the gym even on an arm day, right? But there just comes a point where like that's no longer something that's serving you. And the only thing you're ever getting is pain, right? You're just getting pain and injury, and then you're paying all this money to do tissue work or mobility work or whatever it might be, and you're just like, well, am I making progress or am I just wasting money on tissue work and causing myself pain?
Band-aids on it, basically.
Right. And I feel like it's a great point that you brought up. I feel like there's a lot of people watching guys like yourself, like Joe, like Hunter, like Nick Walker, who have stripped a lot of their volume, who have changed their technique and have changed like how they approach training. And they go, well, that's what I need to do. And it's not necessarily that it's wrong. I think you can still build a really good physique with that similar type of programming, but you need to be a little bit dumb. Like if you're
young and dumb, just throw around some heavy weight with good form, you're going to grow. You're going to recover.
Exactly. There's 100% something to be said about being a little dumb with your training in order to put on the type of tissue that you have, right? Like at any point, trying to get as big as you are is not something your body wants to do. So that means I got to do some shit that my body isn't going to be ready for.
I won't say dumb. I'll say a little crazy.
Sure. Yes.
A lot of times people are like, man, that's a lot. Like before I'm getting ready to do a top set of it, like a deadlift or a bench press and something like that, man, it's a lot of fucking weight, bro. Like don't hurt yourself, or you think you can be able to do that. Or I'm like, dude, if I don't try this, will I ever know if I can do it? Like, no, I'm not. Am I scared? Fuck no. Am I excited? Is my heart rate up? Am I fucking amped to try this? Hell yes. And I miss that because you don't see me deadlifting heavy anymore. I mean, I used to deadlift weekly heavy, and that was my shit. So it sucks not doing that anymore. But I know if I was doing that every week right now, my SIs would just be so fucking shot. I wouldn't be able to do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that because I had my time doing that, and I enjoyed every fucking rep of it.
Right.
And now I'm doing what I have to do. I still do them, just not as heavy.
Right. And now to go to another topic and kind of pull you back on the timeline a little bit. When you turned pro at the Amateur Olympia, what was some of the feedback that you got from the judges for you to be able to go into the pros and do well?
I didn't get feedback.
Okay. Well, what's the feedback from Cameron then? What do you guys need to do?
I just need overall more size. I need bigger biceps. Like people say, man, your arms are huge. Like, um, I don't think they're that big. I need bigger biceps. Like, look at fucking Nick Walker's bicep peaks. Yes, it's a lot of genetics to go in with that. But my triceps are the majority of my arm. My biceps are, they're whatever, but I think they need to be bigger. I need a bigger chest, which we already talked about, which I'm going to really focus on that this all season. And that's going to be with taking back my weight and really just training my chest a little bit differently, a little more purposeful. And then just overall size in general.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good look for my when I went pro. We can definitely be a lot better. I want to be able to display my core better. And I didn't even get any pictures from when I went pro. Um, there was no Gilco or anything like that for that. And whoever did the pictures, they were just okay at best. So I don't even have any pictures from when I went pro. A couple iPhone pictures that are okay, but that's about it. But I like the look that me and Cameron brought, but I know we can be a lot better. So in terms of like muscle size and off season wise, like yes, chest, arms, and its overall size in general while keeping my waist small. And like when this past off season, I've been on an off season for a while. We have not pushed food crazy high, even when I was at my heaviest. Like we're hanging around. I think we're not even over or much over 6,000 calories. Like we weren't pushing anything crazy, but my body changed a lot. It's just, this time and refinement. So now I can see the progress finally. Now that I'm, 7 weeks out getting leaner, it's awesome to see the progress that I have made just with, more density. Shape is still decent. Waist is still good for the most part. And just trying to make it better.
Yep. Now, what did you weigh at the Amateur Olympia, and what is kind of a projected range for your Mexico Pro show?
I was 240 the morning of when I went pro, and this morning I was 261. And we still got a good bit to come off. I'd be ecstatic with like 250, but we'll probably realistically be in that 245 to 250 range. I honestly have no idea. Me and Cameron haven't talked about it. I don't care what my weight is. I just want to be fucking peeled.
Right.
And then full as house. Because
Yep.
like my biggest thing before with Cam was my peak. I won't say it because many people have said it. I should have been a pro way before I was, and because I just kept the peaks just weren't there, and we would look great, and the show day looked like shit. So that's the thing with Cameron. He's really good at that. He's a data guy. He makes sure he has all the T's crossed, all the I's dotted. So no variables going unseen. And that's what I like about him. And I'm excited for us to go through this whole prep together and see how we finish it because
Yep.
we're the amateur. We were only together for 8 weeks before that. So now we've had a lot more time. So I'm excited to see how it goes.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. But I think it's a really important thing to touch on that with, like you took 2 years off from your last show to this one, and let's say you end up at like 245 to 248, right? Like I think too many people get caught up in, well, I took 2 years off, so I should be 20 pounds heavier.
Mm-hmm.
Right. They get too caught up in that aspect. And it's like, well, if you were 20 pounds heavier, are you actually better? Right. Like, does that even matter? Right. Does your weight on the scale, like, I think even if like in the next 7 weeks, you were able to pull 21 pounds off and be 240 again, I think you'd still end up bringing a way better physique because of like better peak, more muscle, less body fat, like all those things. So like there's this thing that's really hard for people to grasp is that like heavier isn't better, right? Because it's such an easy metric for us to track. Oh, I'm heavier, that means I'm better. But if you don't have the right type of muscle tissue, you don't have the right type of condition, the peak's not good, like that weight doesn't mean shit.
Doesn't mean anything. And we'll talk about Martin, a top 4 Olympian. He took that year or so off, a year or so back. And then when he came back, he showed that his stage weight from the last time he competed to then when he was going into was like what, less than 5 or 7 pound difference, but his body was drastically different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about like what I'll put myself into as well. I don't expect a big weight gain. I just expect a very refined and much better physique.
Yep. Much different. Now, out of curiosity, like you can get into it if you want. You can get into it as far as you want. But what do you think went into those peaks before that weren't quite as good?
Main thing, especially like one of the ones that stuck out more, is just some diuretic use that probably didn't need to be done. Because it wasn't a conditioning thing. Now looking back, could I have been more conditioned like in my glutes? Probably. But I was lean. I was shredded. Enough to win. And then whatever would happen, I would be holding a lot of water. That was the main thing. Is the water retention would come, because in 22 we nailed it pretty well at USA's. But then Stu edged me out. He won that one. And Bill, and they said it was like, oh, your tan was shit. I'm just like, whatever. That was like a pretty good. That was one of my better looks. My best look, honestly, might have been 2019 USA's. And then after that, like I said, it's just they were soft like North Americans. In 23 last year, I was just soft. That morning was pretty. I was solid on, and then kind of just, we were messing with a diuretic where we had to, replace potassium and replace sodium, and this became just a juggling act of trying to hold that look, and it just fell apart a couple of hours before. And it's just one of those things, man. You could do everything perfect for 20 weeks, and you can fuck it all up in a day.
Yes, and that it's such another important thing to pay attention to is like for any coaches that are actually listening to this, make sure you understand how the kidney works, and then make sure you understand how a diuretic works, and make sure you understand which diuretic works in what place, right? Because if you're going to put in a diuretic, it's not just a magic pill. You don't just take it and your body just gets shredded. If your fluids are wrong, if your sodium and potassium levels are wrong, and you put something like that in and don't understand the mechanics of how those diuretics affect the potassium and sodium reabsorption or excretion, you're going to ruin a physique 100%. And it never has to be like, if you're taking more than a half a diazide, we have a problem. Like there's a big issue, right?
I love just a little trickle of diazide. That should be all you need. A little third, a little fourth. That should be all you need.
Yep. Like,
you ever have any experience with Demodex?
No, I don't.
It's a pretty strong one. That's one that fucked me up.
Is it a loop?
Huh?
Loop diuretic?
Honestly, I don't even know, man. I was just listening to my coach at the moment.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, if you think that's what's best, let's give it a try.
Yeah.
And, live and learn.
I'll have to look into that one. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, the only ones that I'm going to use is going to be aldactone or diazide, right? And it just really depends on the number of who needs it, right? And by no means am I one of the best prep coaches in the world. I'm getting better, but last year, I mean, I put 16 people on stage and I used diuretics twice, right? So and my people were shredded, right? And the thing is like, it's not always necessary. It's not always something you have to do. You could just you could just fuck with sodium. You could just fuck with potassium. You could just fuck with water and get a very similar effect. But if you need that extra edge, you got to know how to deploy it and where to deploy it, when to deploy it, and all the other things that go along with it. Like I've actually got, we've talked about him previously. I've got Zach Leeson doing the Amateur Olympia this year. Yep. He's a UK guy, so he has to do a show in the UK to be able to come to the US. So he's doing one tomorrow. And we've been going through the whole drying out process and whatnot. And it's a lot different than what he's done in the past with working with some other like big name coaches. And there, you could definitely tell that there was like some hesitancy on certain things. And I'm like, look, just do it. And we'll get a response. And if I did it wrong, you can lash me out later. But like we were talking about it yesterday, and I asked him straight up, I was like, all right, compare this to your previous preps. What do you think? He's like, well, to be honest, I don't like this look right now. I'm like, that's fine. I understand that. It's valid. There's a lot of things going into this, but I just need you to trust me. And then he wakes up this morning and it's like, all right, yeah, we're ready to fucking go. Mm-hmm. Like, this is good to go. This is exactly what I wanted to see. And I think it's a very important thing to realize that people really get ahead of themselves in peak week, right? Because they're like, well, why am I not dry now? It's like, well, because it's not the fucking stage day. It's not the day you're getting on stage. I don't want you dry right now. If anything, I want you a little watery right now.
I don't want you peaked right now.
Yeah. If I have you really fucking dry now and your body can't hold that, then we're not going to bring the best look on Saturday. So,
and that's where a lot of people have issues with peaking correctly because they get so flat and they're like, oh my God, I look like shit. What's going on? I'm losing it all. Like, nah, you have to go through this period of looking like shit and flat and watery because you have no glycogen in your muscles to push it to the skin.
yep.
And when people realize that, then they are open to a whole nother world of bodybuilding. But
Yep.
most people are like, nah, I got to look good the whole time.
Yes.
And yeah.
And the other aspect of that when it comes to peaking is if you want to make your peak week smooth, make sure you're shredded.
Absolutely.
Make sure you're in shape.
The leaner you are, the easier it's going to be.
You make peak week bulletproof when you are shredded, right? Because unless you do something really fucking stupid, you are going to come in fine. Could it be better? Sure. But that's a matter of getting on stage, seeing how you do on stage, deal with the anxiety, deal with the pressure of being up there, and then you make adjustments along the way. But if you are not in shape, you can just guarantee that peak week's not going to be great. Like it's not going to be as good as you could be, you know. Yeah, so you're definitely bringing up some really good points without even intentionally trying to here. But I'm honestly just really excited to see how you look at Mexico Pro, man. Because I remember watching you win your pro card. We were at that destination and watching the Olympia week and all that stuff, and that was maybe I think we met like 22 or something like that.
We met in 22. Yeah, I
Yeah.
came down after the 22 USAs.
Yep.
We came straight from Vegas to Dallas for the homecoming,
Yep.
and that's when we fell in love with Dallas and destination. So that's why we're now here.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when we
and,
met.
and you guys were where before? Remind me.
Virginia,
right?
Yeah, right now, right 30 minutes out of DC. So much better to be here now.
Yeah, I had the same experience because I came from North Carolina, so we're kind of both in a similar area. And the first time I came out to visit, I was not here for bodybuilding. I had come to visit a college buddy, and we went out drinking and got real fucked up and all that stuff. And it was one of those moments of like, "Yep, I'm gonna move here." Like just one visit, it was one of those things. But
this place is awesome, man. We're so happy that we're here. We miss some of our friends from Virginia, obviously, but man, we know this is where we belong for sure.
Of course. Now, before we start to wrap up, because I want to be conscious of your time here, one of the things that I want to talk about is tell me about what that difference in environment is like going from Virginia, where there's probably some bodybuilders and probably like a decent fitness scene, but it's nothing huge, to now being here. What's the difference for you been like with this last 2 years being here?
It's a good question. It's a huge difference. I was lucky in Virginia. I had a great gym to train out of. I don't know if you ever heard of the Shop Gym. It was in Ashburn. There's two of them, one in Manassas, Virginia, one in Ashburn. It's a 35,000 square foot gym. It's in a warehouse, huge, just hundreds of pieces of equipment, great stuff, like old school stuff, new school, an amazing gym. Dumbbells that would go up to like 170. So like it had everything you needed. So it was a great gym, but in terms of bodybuilders, there was maybe a couple like aspiring. And I had a training partner. I don't know if you know Tay. He's with Gilco now. He's a photographer, but he used to be my videographer. He's just been my friend for a long time, and then he was also my training partner. So I had good training partners. Him. I had another guy. His name was Dwayne. He was my training partner for the last bit as I was there. And Dwayne, he was 50. Which you look at the dude, you wouldn't think it, but he was beat up. So like he would train with me as hard as he could, and he was an awesome training partner. But also, he had his limitations. There'd be days he would come in like he'd be injured, and his energy would be completely different. That's it's him, it's personal. I get that. But being here, being around actual bodybuilders, and so when I first moved here, me and Jordan started training at NRH, and that was the first time I had been able to train with anybody that was also a competitor, and it was pretty awesome. And we're both pros at that, so we had a really really good time of training. So the change from that is just the atmosphere has been insane.
Yep.
Especially now that I'm in destination. Like that atmosphere is hard to match.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you have everybody there that are just great people. Like, what AMJ is doing with Destination is awesome. Everybody at Destination, Cody, Emily, just everybody seeing you there. It's just a great place to be. And then seeing everybody get after it. I was talking to Ken in there yesterday after I trained a client, seeing him in there. T-bar row in seventh place. Like I love watching Ken just get after it. He's a hard fucking trainer. And then when I'm in there, typically Jordan and Justin are in there. We're all training around each other, helping each other out. So it's fucking awesome. Like we're at a really lucky time for Dallas right now.
It's such an interesting dynamic of bodybuilding because everything is on you, right? Nobody can help you do any of this, right? Like nobody can diet for you, nobody can do cardio for you or train for you. There's no team that can help carry you when you have having struggling days and stuff. But there's such a massive component of who you have around you that changes how you are able to execute by yourself. And it's like that not only like your partner, like your wife, right? But it's also the people you hang around on a regular basis, right? Because people who aren't bodybuilders, if you go to them and you tell them you're having a bad day, they're gonna be like, "Oh man, it's fine. Just take a day off and have
a beer or something."
Exactly. That's not what you need. You don't need that. You need the guy who's going to tell you, yeah, this shit sucks, but figure it the fuck out and keep moving forward. I'm here for you, but figure it the fuck out. Right. And there's something to that,
It's great. Yeah, even guys like Tanner and Mars, I'm sure you know them, the destination, like having them there, being around them, they are awesome guys. So we love pushing each other as well. So it's just, it's everybody, man.
Yep. I'm a big fan of Tanner. He came.
He's awesome, man.
Yeah, he came to Destination.
All-around guy.
Yeah, he came to Destination last year, and at that time, I was slowly starting to get away from in-person training, kind of moving towards what I am now. But prior to that, every time somebody would come in and go, "Well, how should I be a good trainer here?" They'd ask Cody that. He'd always send them to me, and he'd always be like, "Nick, crush that." And like if you want to figure out how to be a trainer here, go talk to Nick. And me and Tanner kind of hit it off from there, and seeing his success and seeing him like build his online team, and not only like his coaching, but the kid is fucking mutated. Like he has gotten massive in the last year.
Since I've moved to Texas and like me and him have met, he's morphed.
Yeah, I agree.
He works hard in the gym. He's tall as hell. He's like 6 foot. He's a big boy.
Yep.
But I've seen him and Mars. They put in work daily, and it's paying off. But you're right. That dude is morphed.
Yeah, it's so much fun to see that stuff, and that kind of stuff honestly makes me miss me competing. But at the same time, I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but no, it's great to be around it. That motivating factor of it, and just because it gets you fired up, man. It really does. Just being around those kind of people. And everybody that we've talked about, they want what's best for you. Like they are super encouraging to me, and it's just it's really cool to be around, man. It's awesome. It's a little bit of light in the dark tunnel that you're in every now and then.
Yeah, and even the aspect of like your gym, the destination bringing in new equipment, like that's a fun thing, right? Because like, there's something exciting about like, all right, well, I was using this T-bar, but now we have this new T-bar over here. I'm going to swap that pattern, and like it's the same machine, but like there's something
we
just
got. Hold on, you're still talking.
No, you're good. You're good. It's just something exciting about being able to try something new. That like even that aspect of it is such a win. But what were you saying about that T-bar?
So yeah, we got the one T-bar, the one I think it's similar to like the Body Masters OG. Just it'll rotate with it. And the one we just got from the same brand, Mega Mass, the one where it's more of like just on that sled that you pull, bro. That lit my back up. So that's gonna be in my my routine for a while.
I used it.
There's no lower back anything, and it just murdered my whole back. So that thing is wicked.
I used it yesterday, and my whole back is lit the fuck up today. So it's nice. I like it a lot.
I was impressed, and apparently we're going to be getting another back piece from them within like a month. I just don't know where we're going to put it. The next problem we're running into is just space.
Well, I was thinking about that the other day, and I'm like, what would you rather have in a gym? Too much equipment to where it's hard to walk around, or so much space that you can do whatever you need to? I'd rather have a little too much equipment.
It has to be too much equipment, but golly, man, just where we're bumping shoulders. But hey, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
It's a good problem to have.
Right.
So I'm not complaining.
I agree.
Great equipment, man. So that's been since I've moved out here, which was in April. We've gotten a great amount of good equipment.
Yep.
The new Smith, that Cybex we've had for a while, the Cybex Hack.
Yep.
And these new back pieces, we also got the Hammer Strength incline press that the gym didn't have. So MJ's letting Cody do his thing, and Cody's doing what he can to make the gym better. So I'm very grateful for that, as we all are.
The only problem you're going to have with that T-bar is running out of space of plates to put on it.
Yeah, I put 7 on that bitch, and I was like, damn,
That's
I might have
stacked
room
out.
for one more. Then after that, but yeah, that thing is wicked.
I already told Cody he needs to let Megamass know that we need a new horn on that thing.
Gonna have to get Jim Penn to send me an extender for it.
Yeah. There we go.
I was actually shocked how much I like that machine. It was wicked.
At first, I didn't think I was gonna like it. Like,
I
it
didn't
looks
like
cool, but I was like, man, that's gonna feel weird. But then, like, as soon as I tried it, I was like, okay, this is fucking nice. The first person I saw use it was Pete, and he used it.
Vegas, right?
Yeah, he used it out in Vegas, and I was like, that looks interesting. And he praised it, and then I saw more and more people using it at different places. Like, all right, I'm excited about this fucking thing. But
Guys, if you're listening and your destination, the machine is not that good. It's not that good.
stay away from it. Don't try
There's been
it.
a line going into that machine here recently. I'm like, shit.
I know,
I gotta
right?
stop hyping it up so much.
I do like the other Megamass T-bar row though.
Oh, that thing! I love that. It was solid, and I still love it. The other one was just like a little better.
The old T-bar that we've had forever is Body Masters. The Megamass one that we have is a recreation of their newer version of the Body Masters T-bar because it has the swiveling handle. Yeah,
the swivel handle, and that thing is also amazing. Like I'm gonna be switching between the two. Heavy, yes.
That motherfucker.
They should take that white one out now. It's just making a face.
Yeah,
that thing will crush your sternum.
Yeah,
so the new one is a little bit. It's not as horizontal, so it's so much better. So you can actually fucking breathe.
Yep, for sure. So we'll start to wrap up here, man. But anything you want to leave everybody with before you go?
No, thank you for watching, and whoever is following my journey for my pro debut, I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in, and yeah. Other than that, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man. Drop your Instagram and stuff so anybody not following you can follow along and watch your pro debut.
Yeah, man. My Instagram is bbarrow91. So yeah, give me a follow if you want. Follow my journey for my pro debut, and because I'll be pretty active on there going into it. I like to get active as I lead into my show.
Yeah,
off season, I don't post as much.
If they're interested in training with you in person or coaching with you, do they just find you on Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram is fine. Shoot me a DM. I'll get to that. But yeah, in person out here in Destination Dallas, where Nick used to train his clients as well, and online coaching. So yeah, man, I appreciate that.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Thanks so much for spending an hour with me, dude. I'll probably see you.
I appreciate you having me on. This was fun. An hour went by very fast.
It does. Yeah, it happens that way. But I'll probably see you up here at the gym here in a little bit, man. But I appreciate you, dude.
Everyone, appreciate you, man. And yeah, I'm heading out there in about an hour or two, so I'll see you.
Yep, I'll be up there. So everyone who is still watching, appreciate you watching. Be sure to subscribe, share this with your friends, and leave a comment down below. We'll see you next time.